But look at this. This is my real news of the day. Look at this. This is from the Vancouver Sun. Meng Wanzhou arrest caused UBC leaders concern over enrollment fundraising. Internal documents show. The email records come at a time when post-secondary institutions around the world have come under increased scrutiny over their ties to China. Would you look at that? Universities, the place of scholarship and ideas and free thinking. In Canada, their top concern about the whole China-Canada thing, the kidnappings that happened after Canada lawfully arrested the woman who was in the bottom of that photo, Meng Wanzhou. She's a senior executive with the Chinese tech firm Huawei. The number one thing UBC was worried about was that sweet, sweet Chinese money. Not about freedom, about money. The university was. Let me read. The Vice Provost International told colleagues in an email a campus-wide meeting was needed, given our significant reliance on China for students and do-re-mi. One theme of the internal discussions was whether UBC needed to take a more vocal stance to counter darker public feelings about China and to respond to critics who were calling on universities to cut or minimize ties with Huawei and other Chinese companies or institutions. So not only was UBC going to continue their relationship with the communist dictatorship that just kidnapped 2 Canadians, but they were going to volunteer to be a propaganda arm for China in Canada. They weren't going to try and bring Canadian values to China. Were you crazy? They were going to make the case for the communists because all of that money, Lenin had their number. Let me read some more. Huawei sponsors $9.5 million in research agreements with UBC. Campus spokesman Kurt Heinrich said Wednesday, oh my God, is that all it took to turn the entire university into a group of prostitutes? You know, UBC's annual budget is $2.7 billion with a B. That's mainly from Canadian taxpayers, but 9.5 million? That's not even 1%. That's a third of 1%. That's all it takes for a foreign company, a foreign country to corrupt UBC. That is so gross. It's also really, really pitiful. I mean, I wonder if ISIS came to UBC with 9.5 million or Omar Khadr with his 10.5 million. Would UBC go into PR mode for the terrorists too? Please don't answer. By the way, Huawei isn't just a concern for anti-communists or right-wingers. Here's Barack Obama's national security advisor talking to Canada's state broadcaster the other day about this very subject.
It gives the Chinese the ability, if they choose to use it, to access all kinds of information, civilian intelligence, military, that could be very, very compromising. So much as I disagree with the Trump administration on a number of things, on this, their concern about Huawei, I believe they're right.
As a matter of protection, would the United States have to have a slightly different security relationship with Canada?
Yes, and that will throw the Five Eyes collaboration, which serves the security interests of every Canadian and every American, into jeopardy. It can't be done.
Can't share.
I don't see how we can share in the way we have. It's not a joke. It's truly serious.
Do you know what the craziest part of the prostitution of University of British Columbia is? While they were planning their PR propaganda for China, I read you that one quote there, while they were planning to defend the dictators, publicly, that was their public plan. Their private plan, they were privately worried about the safety of their own students over in China. And they were even worried about the UBC president visiting China. Let me quote. This is from the memo the dean wrote. In the near term, there was concern about the safety of the students, faculty, and even UBC President Santa Ono, who had trips planned overseas. One email thread carried the subject line, very concerned about Santa's trip to China. And they don't mean Santa Claus, they mean Santa Ono. So you're embarking on a PR campaign to whitewash a regime that's so dangerous that you're thinking of not even sending your own university president over there? How corrupt they are. Hey, how come taxpayers have to pay for this? I mean, Canadian taxpayers. I know why Chinese taxpayers do. I know what they get out of it. we all know. That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant Show, which is a show I do every day. I do a monologue, interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. But you've got to subscribe to it, which you can do at premium.rebelnews.com.